Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to the 5th instalment of my Christmas series, which has a new episode every day right up until Christmas Eve. So if you have missed any of the previous episodes, then please do go back even and watch those first, just so that you get like the full experience. And then come back and watch this one because I want you to watch this one too. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future weird and wonderful folk tales that I have to come. So that being said, let's get into today's story, which is Lussi Long Night. Lussi's tale is like an incredibly ancient one that has evolved over centuries of storytelling. Lussi, as we know her in folklore, in like the Germanic version, is called Lussi, but she originally started off life as Lucia. Lucia was born in the 280s in Sicily. So that's how old this story is. But yeah, she was born around the 280s AD, so the story is very, very old. There are several stories surrounding the Holy Sancta Lucia, also known as Saint Lucy in English, so I'm going to refer to her as Saint Lucy just so that I don't accidentally pronounce her name wrong. It does remain unclear as to what actually happened to her in her lifetime, but what is known is that she did suffer martyrdom on the 13th of December, somewhere between 303 and 310 AD. One story says that a beautiful Lucy rejected a suitor on the grounds of her promise to remain pure to her Christian God. In a time where Christianity was very, very much illegal in Sicily, the rejected man did not take this very well and decided to go to the authorities and report her for being a Christian. The authorities gave Lucy an ultimatum. She could either renounce her faith or she would be put to death. Sadly, Lucy chose death. On the day of her execution, the fire was lit beneath her feet, yet the flames would not touch Lucy. Several attempts were made to kill the poor girl, by fire, so she did suffer quite badly, until the executioner put her to the sword, ending her life that way. She was eventually canonised, and to this day her martyrdom is celebrated on the 13th of December every year. During her life, Lucia was believed to have helped the sick and the dying, the infirm, the poor. In order to keep her hands free, she would wear a wreath of candles above her head so that she would be able to help them at all times, earning her the name or the epitaph of the Luminous One. Now we're going to skip forward about 1,000 years and head over to Scandinavia. The anniversary of Lucia was established when Christianity started to take over a typically Catholic country and their typical Catholic traditions, and all the other religions that came with that area as well, which many were ancient Norse traditions as well. So the celebration of the winter solstice had already taken place among the Norsemen. In the Nordic lands, December was known to be the darkest month of the year. The night between the 12th and the 13th of December was particularly important to them. One, because it was the longest night. It also had supernatural implications. So when Christianity came over with Saint Lucy, her night fell on this same supernatural night for them. So her story was melded into, you know, the ancient folklore that surrounded this supernatural night, and thus the creature Lussi Long Night was born. People had to stay in on this night, eating, drinking and celebrating, to placate and avert the anger of Lussi. In keeping with traditions, they made sure that they kept their lights on so that she could peer into the window and make sure that they were celebrating her night. So the lights were kept on, and it was very important that that night you had to take care of your animals more so than you would normally. You needed to give them better food, because on the 13th the animals were also able to talk to one another. It was a supernatural night, so all these weird and wonderful things could happen. And if Lussi found out that you had been cruel to your animals, or had not fed them well, or were not celebrating correctly, you risked the wrath of Lussi. Lussi would come to check on everything. She would make sure that all of the Yule feasts were prepared, that the houses were tidy, and if they weren't, you really did run the risk of Lussi. She would become so angry that she came down the chimney into the house, and sometimes she would break down the whole chimney. Or she would press her terrifying face on the window to check how it all looked, and if things were not ready for Yule, she would, according to Norwegian sources, cry out piercingly, "Not brewed, not baked, not great fire do they have." I hope you have enjoyed the tale of Lussi Long Night. Tomorrow's video we are heading over to Germany and Austria, kind of that way, for one of their folklore tales. So I hope to see you there. I will see you tomorrow. Catch you later, guys. Bye.